So I'm back home again for my next rotation off. Might be in for some changes with my work schedule in the next few months. So this could be a good thing or a bad thing. I'm not really sure, but might be going from 14 and 7 to a 10 and 10. Hard to say. I think we're going to be getting a pay raise, but hard to know for sure if that's going to translate to more money, less money, or the same if I transition to this different schedule. Now, it would certainly be nice to work fewer days and have more days off. 10 and 10 literally means you're working half the year. And it does mean you got more time at home to relax and do stuff. But will this extra pay rate and slightly longer hours per day translate to more money? Hard to say. But you know what? I don't know. I gotta think about it. I haven't even talked with my girlfriend about it yet, so we have no idea. I have no idea what I'm gonna do yet. So gotta put some serious thought into it. In the meantime, though, I'm back home, and I have a cold. I just got over a cold, and now I've managed to pick up another one. So, yay, lucky me. I just can't seem to win. So I'm trying to stay away from people as much as I can, because I have a couple of friends who have compromised immune systems, and I don't want to get them sick, because that would suck. So that said, I've still got a pretty decent stash of unbuilt Gundam kits that I want to take a look at. Some older, some fairly new. We're going to continue our dive into the Gundam Wing Master Grade series with the only TV series version Master Grade they ever made, the Wing Gundam, in its TV series design, as well as the Endless Waltz version of Death Scythe Hell Custom. Since I've already got the heavy arms, and the Wing Zero is easy to come by, I have a Nataku on order. I just need the Sandrock, and then I'll have the complete set. So, in addition to that, though, one of the most recent Master Grade kits to come out has been a update of the Jim version 2.0. This is the new Jim Sniper Custom. This came out about 3 months ago, and I haven't had a chance to take a look at it yet. But I do love that Jim frame. I do love that version 2.0 RX-78 base frame that they used to build off of to make this, and all of the other variants. The Jim Command, which I did about a month ago, I really liked. The Jim Sniper from last year I really enjoyed. And just in general, I've done a couple each of the RX-78 and RGM-79 version 2.0s, and I've really enjoyed them every time. So I'm really looking forward to taking a look at this. And finally, the last up, as I've mentioned previously, I am a big fan of the Astray, but I've never done the Master Grade Astray because I wasn't super into the weapons pack that it came with, because there's the standard Astray with the Kai tactical arms weapon system, and then there's the Sengoku Astray, but there's not a base model conventional standard Astray red frame that you can buy in a Master Grade. Well, I happened upon a little something on eBay. As I often do, I just kind of peruse what's there, and found an aftermarket set. I'm hoping that this is going to be okay. I've not really looked at it. I've briefly cracked open the box to take a glance at the parts, but I'm eager to have a look-see at what we got in here. So to go along with this, I ordered the standard Master Grade Astray with the tactical arms weapons, the Astray Red Frame Kai, I believe. So I will be building it probably with the tactical arms, and then just leaving those off and using this backpack if it turns out to be okay. But we're going to take a look through all of these and see what we got. I'm very curious to see how they all work. I think we're going to start with the Astray, because screw it, why not? I'm impatient. Alright, so we're going to start with the main model itself. Naturally, having this very attractive piece of box art. The Astray with the tactical arms backpack with both swords, the Sabers Straight and the Tiger Pierce. I'm not really sure what the difference is between them, but I'm sure there's some slight differences in the design. Standard box sides, having information about the completed model, some posability stuff. Not much else to say. First up, we got our stickers. So we have eyes, sensors, some additional red and green parts, then dry transfers, as well as self-adhesive stickers. Our A runner. This is actually labeled A4. Actually, this is strange. It's A1, A2, A3, and A4. I've never seen that before. I've never seen a single runner labeled with 4 different numeric codes. So I'm actually super confused by that. That's really strange. But you got your torso armor parts. You got your V-crest. Some parts for the head frame, shoulder frame parts, feet, probably shoulders, face insert, your clear parts for the eyes and forehead sensors, which are tinted a light green, and probably parts for the sword and hilt, scabbard. Our B runner has our pilot figures standing and seated. This would be Lo Ghul, I believe. That's how his name is pronounced. Got your thigh armor, rear skirt, side skirt, kind of the tail binder on the rear skirt would attach right there. Front skirts, codpiece, part of the abdomen, possibly part of the cockpit hatch. I'm not really sure how that's laid out. And then the back plate for the hand armors. We got our polycap set, which is molded in red. That's exceedingly rare to see polycaps in anything other than like gray or black. I'm not sure I've ever seen red. I think I've seen white a couple of times. But this is PC204, dated originally 2009, so moderately new. Curiosity though, this ball joint socket has a hole cut through it. It looks otherwise identical to the one beside it, but this is labeled PC16 and this is PC17, so I guess they're a little bit different. A little bit different in size as well. I'm a little curious why there's a hole in it. Looks like mostly torso, probably upper body, chest panels here, back panel, cockpit section, shoulders, abdomen, parts for the legs, lower body, the 3-finger group for the hands, back of the neck, I would say. More parts for the skirt armors. Not really sure what else we got. We got a pair of identical Q runners here. These would be the scabbards for the 2 swords, which clearly are identical. Got a space here where there's a red detail part that like clamps on over top, and then the end is kind of pinned together with a gold detail, and then the top has a red collar that holds it all together. Speaking of the swords, very shiny chrome. I'm not the biggest fan of chrome, as I have stated before, but it looks fine. These are labeled R1 and R2, so they are different. The only difference, though, I can tell for sure is that the kanji on the tang of the blade is a little bit different from one to the other. I'm guessing one says Sabers Straight and the other says Tiger Pierce, but I don't know because I don't read kanji. Otherwise, they look fine. If I ever get around to painting it, I will strip the chrome and repaint it because I don't like that kind of chrome. We got some frame parts here. I think this would be a frame for the rear skirt, side skirts maybe. I think this probably ball joints onto the waist. It has some flexibility. You got your hand frames, shoulder armors. I would say the mounting for the arms. This is probably how the swords attach to the body, I would guess. This looks like part of an action base. I believe the tactical arms, because they're so heavy, require that it be displayed with an action base 2, if I remember correctly. The Gundam is simply not capable of holding it on its own. But then you just got a bunch of other joint parts on here. Speaking of joint parts, this looks like all stuff for the tactical arms. A lot of joints, a lot of hand grips. I can't really identify much of anything on here. Typical of Bandai, though, it's very nicely molded, and it's all in ABS. Very solid and very sturdy. You got your waist sections, so the light gray midsection pieces, and then a couple of additional parts. I'm not really sure what these are for, but they're gated off from the main part. So the main part of the runner. So I'm guessing that these are something to do with the tactical arms. And our nice gold runner, not chromed, just kind of a nice metallic plastic. You got the end caps for the sword, for the scabbards. You got the wrist guards, and then the pommel for the hilts. Very nicely molded. But both of the wrist guards look like they're identical. They're both labeled as part S2, so they do appear to be both identical, with identical molding. More weird-ass joint parts. I don't know what to make of any of this, but this would all be for the tactical arms, I would guess. Got some stubby beam saber blades. This is labeled SB6. Copyright date molded in 2005, so this would be slightly older. These probably came from a high-grade Universal Century kit originally. Some structural frame parts for the tactical arms weapon. Again, I don't know much about this weapon, so I don't really know what any of it is, except that it's like got a cannon embedded inside of a giant sword. It's very silly. But some nice molding on here. There's an open slide mold on this side, so as well as on this piece, and some neat venting and ribbing detail as well as over here. The E-Runner, we've got a couple of these, so we'll just take a look at one. It looks like mostly leg parts. So you got your lower legs, you got your forearms, upper arms, thumb and forefinger, shoulders, some vents, some detail parts for the sides of the legs, knees, shin, and some detail up parts all over the place. Some actually really nice detail molded into those legs there. I don't know how well that's coming across, but it looks really neat in person. Again, we've got two of this runner. This is the C runner. So we got leg armor parts, ankle armor parts. Got some forearm stuff. Some probably collars on the upper arm and detail parts for there. Vents for the lower leg. Kneecap. This would be on the back of the leg. Some more vents, back of the knee. And I'm guessing these are all to do with the tactical arms weapon. Another set of duplicates. This is the eye runner. So we got more parts for the tactical arms. Looks like frames for the sword. So I think these all hinge around each other on either side of the main body of it, and then like you would attach the white blade section on there. It's a silly weapon. A lot of duplicate runners in this thing. This is the O runner. So we got our feet parts and the scabbards, or the hand grips, hilts for the swords, and then a lot more frame arm parts. Some vents. Looks like maybe some sensors. More joints here and there. Still another pair of duplicate runners. This is the L runner, and we've got an odd set of additional feet. I'm not really sure why. I wasn't aware that this would have had swap out optional feet, but got some big knife and more joint parts. I'm guessing these might be for like how the frame arms or the tactical arms attach to the backpack. This seems like the kind of frame that would be attaches to the lower skirt and then docks in with the back. I'm not sure. Got another polycap set. This one looks like it's the same as the other one. So we got our remaining white frame parts. So we got the faceplate, sides of the head, top of the head, rear of the head, shoulder armors, and more shoulder armor pieces. And I'm guessing this would be the collar for the neck. And last up for structural parts, we got the hand grip and some more frame stuff for the tactical arms weapon. And last but not least, we have our action base. So it looks like that part from before simply drops in and replaces this, gives it a different attachment point. But I'm not totally sure. I've actually never built one of this type of action base. I think this might be the action base 4. It says BA4-A. So I usually stuck with the action base 1. It also comes with a couple of screws, 3 screws and 3 bolts. Instructions, kind of an odd color on the front of the book, but it's attractive and it's evocative of the Astray. Open it up, you got some bio info, you got your parts callouts, tells you about the action base here and all of the other additional bits and bobs. There's a lot of X'd out parts in here and in here. Because I guess the tactical arms, it shares a lot of components with the blue frame 2nd L Master Grade, because they both have very similar weapons. But assembly begins with the torso and then the head, before moving on to the arms and then the legs. You've got some info in the like some nice like chalk draw or charcoal drawings of the Astray and how the tactical arms attach to the body. It's a neat looking weapon, but it's very silly. And the center section, which I always love, you've got your photoshopped photos of the mobile suit in action, and then just a bunch of posed photos of it demonstrating its articulation and features, and then some more charcoal drawings. Construction continues with the waist before moving on to the weapons, and then final assembly, as well as the action base and how it attaches to that. There's a bit of an open out section here to kind of fill out how to fully assemble the tactical arms, which I'm not sure if I've mentioned are a very silly weapon. Finally, you've got your marking guide on the back and final beauty photo of the model. Now that we've got the Astray herself out of the way, we can take a look at the option kit. This is by a company called WS Model Parts. It's unit number WS004. I've never heard of WS Models before, and I probably should have done a little bit of Googling to figure out what else kind of work they've done, but if this turns out to be a decent product, then, well, maybe they're doing the Lord's work. Basically, it comes with the shield, the backpack, and the rifle to convert the Astray Kai into the Astray Standard. Box front, box back, basically the same. Just a different pose, and then some information. Looks like it's written in Chinese. We got 3 runners, and each of them is identical to each other. You've got them. The only difference is that they're printed in different colors. So you've got your black, you've got your white, and then you've got your red. So in the case of the red, you would use, the detail parts for the shield, as well as some parts inside the backpack, like these vents and the thrusters, and the rest of the runner you would throw away. The white runner, you would use the armor plate for the shield, some detail parts inside the backpack, and then the rest of the runner you would throw away. And then you would use the bulk of the black. You'd use the main armor plate, you'd use the rifle, all of the latch parts, and then the frame parts for the backpack, and then whatever duplicates you would throw away. I'm a little curious as to what the quality of this is like. It looks fine. The black especially is molded in this very high gloss. Looks like it's a really nice finish. So I'm excited to get this together and see how it looks. There's a little bit of flash on the white runner, mostly around the center, but there doesn't seem to be any on any of the parts. In addition, there are a couple of beam sabers, but there are no blades with this. And since the Astray uses such unique beam sabers, I won't be able to display it with beam saber blades. The red runner, however, does have a fair bit of flash on some of the runner parts, but again, the individual pieces appear to be all very clean. Since you've got now, essentially, you've got 3 of each replacement component: the shield, the rifle, and backpack. For those that paint, you've now got 3 complete Astrays. If you were to get the blue frame second L and wanted to backdate it to the standard, you could very easily just paint it and detach the backpack parts and paint it down to the standard version. As for instructions, that's what you get. Single sheet, very basic printing. Looks like it was probably hand photocopied. Yeah, the backpack, which has a half dozen components and a couple of beam saber mounts. You've got the rifle, which is a half dozen components. Does not have a clear lens, which is not surprising, because there's no clear parts with this. And then you've got your shield, which again is about a half dozen parts. And it all looks like it's probably taken from original molds. The runners themselves are reshot, like rearranged and reorganized and reshot with their own molds. It's a very interesting decision that they made to just give you 3 identical runners in different colors rather than, shoot each color as its own runner. But hey, it is what it is. So, WS model parts, ladies and gentlemen. So have I mentioned that the Red Frame's tactical arms weapon is kind of silly? Well, it is. I'm very excited though about this. As I've stated a few times recently, I'm a big fan of the Astray series, especially the red, especially the basic red, and I can't wait to build this. If you remember my real grade Astray, the build-up I did a few weeks ago for the flight unit backpack, that company, Effects Wings, actually does a Master Grade version of the same backpack, and part of me kind of wants to order it as well, just see how much different it is from the real grade, but probably not going to bother, because I don't think I'm going to go all in on the Master Grade Astrays like I did on the real grades, because they're just too spendy. Because this thing comes with that big tactical arms weapon, which is very silly, it adds, it almost doubles the cost of this thing. The retail price for this, I think I paid, is 4,500 yen. Let me take a look. Is 5,000 yen. If it were just the base Astray, if that had ever been released as just a basic Master Grade, it would have been probably 3,000, max of 3,500. So this tactical arms weapon is a pretty big bump in price for something I don't want, because it's silly. But, it's the only way to get the most basic version of the Astray Red Frame that's out there. And this option kit, which I think I paid $20 for, I'm perfectly happy having and using that as to kit this thing out. Now, as long as everything fits, as long as it all goes together well, I'm thrilled. I'm very excited to assemble this thing. So yeah, that's it for the Astray. We're going to move on tomorrow or the next day-ish. We're going to take a look at the new Gym Sniper Custom. So thank everyone out there for watching. and happy modeling.